Hey guys, Brendan Hall here alongside Chris Bradley. We spent all day here, 12 hours at the Tsongas Center here on the campus of UMass Lowell. Saw 6 terrific games here in the MIAA Boys and Girls Basketball Sectional Finals for the North. I think early on the theme here was role players. We have superstars in a lot of these teams. Danvers, Eric Martin, the Northeast Conference MVP. Reading, Olivia Healy, who in many people's minds far and away the best player in the state this year. Brighton, we talk about Malik James, Nick Simpson, ad nauseum. But really, it was role players stepping it up today for those guys in the early games.
Yeah, you know, in the D2 final, we saw Davon Edwards, who almost couldn't come to the game because he had to take SATs today. They talked to the college board, talked to the schools he was applying to, and he showed up. But he came out, he banged 4 threes, had 17 points, and he was really, when Malik James was struggling in the first half, he went like 1 for 11 from the field, and that was the difference, was Davon stepping up.
Yeah. I think that'll be an interesting matchup next week when they face Situate at the Garden. It's a little bit unknown, like the game that's always stuck in my head here, Marhar, the state final. But let's go to the D1 games. This is where action really started to pick up. You mentioned, we talked about Central Catholic girls teams, and a lot of top girls teams here have a marquee player. You think of Olivia Haley at Reading. You think of Bill Ricca, Brittany Lomano. You think of North Andover, the team that Reading beat, Morgan Lum, et cetera, et cetera. Casey McLaughlin probably doesn't get as high a profile as some of the other girls, but far and away a terrific player for them. Really did a lot of nice things for them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of the best forwards in the state. I think she, you know, Central kind of held that 7 or 8 point lead the whole second half. Western kind of made a run, tied it up, actually took the lead at one point. But she was really the key. They just kept throwing the ball to her down low. She had some great cuts, diving from the high post. She was the key to the win.
Yeah. And then the nightcap here. You know, it was a 25-point win, but boy, was that a fun, entertaining game to watch. A lot of back and forth, a lot of run and gun there. That's the style of ball Englanders likes to play, and Central Catholic ran right with them. The final score, 83-58. But the number that sticks out with me, Chris, and I know it's Lynn English' style. They like to leak early in possessions and get their transition going. But 28-9 rebounding advantage in the first half. Say what you want about the foul calls. Say what you want about whether goaltending, whatever. It came down to that, I think, in the first half.
Yeah, and you know, talking to Mike Carr after the game, that's kind of what he said too, is those hustle plays that they didn't make when Stevie Collins was on the bench with 3 fouls. And, you know, they just didn't make the plays. Joel Burrow had 17 points, 19 boards, and they couldn't keep him off the glass. Simple as that.
We talk about going into the tournament, Tyler Nelson was probably going to have to pick up a bigger load. He scored 26 points tonight to lead the Raiders. But really, when you look at some of the guys, I think in particular Aaron Hall having a career night tonight, it's really, we talk about losing Doug Gemmel and Nick Cambio and how much that's going to affect those guys. Doug Gemmel's their horse. He's the guy that gets everyone fired up. But really, it's become a next man up philosophy for them.
Yeah, you know, I think it talks to how hard they play in practice and how much Coach Null expects out of them too. Because, you know, you can't have guys coming in ready to play like that. The D1 North Final with the Tsongas, those kids came in ready to play. That says a lot about them.
It just seems like every time. We saw this with the St. Anthony's game over Christmas break, and you see them coming out in all cylinders, and you wonder if they can keep up the intensity for 32 minutes, but they seem to have no problem with that. We talk about Linden's conditioning. How about Central's conditioning, too?
I mean, they didn't get tired the whole game, and, you know, every time that Lynn English would try to run the ball up and down the floor on them. They did great on-ball defense, especially from Hamill and Nelson, and on the top of the zone that they whipped out a little bit.
We got a couple matchups Monday and Tuesday slated at the Garden. I think people are really looking forward to. I know on the girls' side, Archbishop Williams, Pentucket is going to be a big one. Braintree versus Central Catholic, that's going to be another big one. But the one I think we're all waiting for is Central Catholic Mansfield for the Division I Eastern Mass Boys Final. Tuesday night, I got to see Mansfield shoot 77% from the floor in the first half against Brookline. 9 of 11 on three-pointers. One of the best shooting performances I've seen in the last couple of years in the MIAA. And on the other hand, you got Central, which just seems that whether it's Tyler Nelson carrying somebody on their back or whether it's just next man up, they just seem to have this grit, this work ethic that they take pride in being just gritty kids. I really look forward to this matchup. Chris, I want your take. I'll give you my prediction, but I want your take and your prediction first.
You know, after seeing the way Central played tonight, I can't pick against them. You know, those kids play really hard. Unbelievable defensive team. Just the slides they make, the way they help and hedge on screens. You can't pick against a team who plays defense like that in the tournament. That's why I have to pick Central.
I got to go with Mansfield in this one. I mean, it's one thing to really just work hard at it and really just play some gritty defense, but boy, do these Mansfield kids shoot the ball. They rotate so well. They're so crisp in their passes in the offensive zone. We talk about Brendan Hill, obviously, Hockenmuck MVP as a sophomore, but they got so many shooters. Michael Bowen, Ryan Bolter, Greg Romanko, Rocky DeAndre. It goes on and on and on. The other night, I'm out at UMass watching the UMass Butler game, and you see the way that Butler runs their sets and how they're just such efficient shooters on the perimeter. And you look at Mansfield, it's just, when you have a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, it feels like a 20-point lead almost. It's one of those things. I like Mansfield in this one, but that's going to be an entertaining game. I expect a huge crowd, huge turnout, two huge fan bases there. And I think we got to mention here as well, Mike McVey, after 31 years, a little bit watery-eyed, telling reporters at the game that this was the last game he's going to coach. He's retiring. After 31 years, 497 wins, 176 losses. That speaks for itself. But really, Mike is one of the most genuine, good guys, nice guys, real class acts you'll come across in this business. I can't say enough good things about him. I've never heard a bad thing about him. Can't say anything bad about him. Just a great career for just a great man.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Rick Nault after the game, the Central game. He was said the same thing about Mike. He just said, great person, but great coach too. Talking to Derek Collins after the game, I asked him, what was going through your head when Coach told you, and that was it was a special moment to see him kind of choke up and get teary-eyed, and he couldn't really answer the question. That's how much those kids really love him. That meant a lot to see that.
Hats off to Mike McVey after 31 years, calling it a career, but what a great career for a great human being. But this has been a terrific day, great venue, great games. Look for us on the blog later. We'll have more coverage on all 12 Eastern Mass Sectional Finals today. But we'll come out tomorrow at WPI, St. John's Milford, 3 o'clock. Get your popcorn ready. That's going to be a fight, too. But for now, for Chris Bradley, I'm Brendan Hall signing off. And for more coverage, go to ESPNBoston.com.